Time doesn't erase true love. It waits. 35 years ago, a simple meeting changed to lives forever. And even after decades, the question still lingers in the hearts of millions. Asterisk, what happened after the fairy tale ended? Asterisk, the story begins again, in a world that has moved forward, but memories have stayed behind. Los Angeles looks the same on the surface, yet everything feels quieter now. The streets that once witnessed laughter, dreams, and chance encounters now carry echoes of the past. Vivian and Edward are no longer the young souls we once knew. Life has shaped them, tested them, and taken them on paths they never expected. The magic of that one unforgettable week did not freeze time. It only became a memory they carried in silence. Vivian learned that dreams don't always arrive wrapped in happiness. She built a life, made choices, and learned how strong she truly was. She smiled, she struggled, and she survived. Somewhere along the way, she stopped waiting for fairy tales and started believing in herself. Yet, in quiet moments, when the world slowed down, her mind would drift back to a man who once looked at her like she was enough. Not perfect, not polished, just real. Edward's life continued at full speed. Deals were signed, buildings rose, and success followed him everywhere. But success has a strange way of leaving empty spaces behind. He gained everything he once wanted, except the one thing money could never secure: peace. Behind closed doors and silent nights, he questioned the choices he made. He wondered if walking away from love was the smartest decision of his life, the biggest mistake he never admitted. Years passed without answers. No letters, no calls. Just memories locked away, growing heavier with time. Both believed the chapter was closed. Yet fate has its own rhythm. It waits patiently until two people are ready to face the truth they once ran from. Because some connections don't fade, they sleep, waiting for the right moment to wake up again. This is not the story of young love anymore. This is the story of what happens after life teaches its lessons, of two people standing at different points in life, carrying the same unanswered question in their hearts. And as the city lights glow once more, destiny begins to move quietly, pulling two familiar souls back toward each other. Not for a fairy tale, but for something far more real. Asterisk, some love stories don't end. They pause, and when they begin again, they carry the weight of everything that came before. Years have passed. The world has changed in ways no one could have predicted. The excitement of youth has been replaced by routine, responsibility, and quiet reflection. Vivian's life moved forward one careful step at a time. She learned how to stand on her own, how to build something meaningful without asking for permission or rescue. The girl who once relied on chance now trusted her own strength. She learned that survival is not loud. It is patient, steady, and deeply personal. There were days when she felt proud of how far she had come. She created stability, found purpose, and shaped a life that belonged only to her. But even strong people have moments of weakness. Late at night, when the world slept, memories surfaced without warning. Not regret, just questions. Questions that never found answers. She never searched for Edward, not because she forgot him, but because some memories feel safer when left untouched. Edward aged differently. Time softened his sharp edges, but deepened his loneliness. The power he once chased no longer excited him the way it used to. Meetings blurred together, luxury lost its shine, and the noise of success faded into silence. He had mastered control over businesses, numbers, and outcomes, yet his own heart remained a place he avoided. The past was not something he liked to revisit, especially the moments when he chose ambition over connection. He told himself he made the right choice. He repeated it often until it sounded true. But every now and then life tested that belief. A familiar song, a hotel hallway, a passing smile from a stranger. Small reminders that love doesn't disappear just because we pretend it did. It hides in the spaces we don't look at. Waiting patiently, neither of them knew the other still carried the same quiet ache. They lived separate lives, unaware that distance had not weakened what once existed between them. Time didn't erase their bond, it matured it. What was once passion had transformed into something deeper, heavier. and more honest. And somewhere between unfinished conversations and unspoken truths, fate began to stir again. Not loudly, not dramatically, just a subtle shift, like the moment before two familiar eyes meet across a crowded room. Because some stories don't return to repeat the past. They return to rewrite it, with wisdom, scars, and a second chance that only time can earn. Asterisk, sometimes destiny doesn't knock twice. It waits until you're finally brave enough to open the door. The moment arrives without warning. Not with grand music or dramatic words, but with silence, the kind that makes the heart race. Two lives that once moved in opposite directions slowly circle back to the same point. Vivian and Edward are no longer chasing who they used to be. They stand as they are now, shaped by time, loss, and lessons learned the hard way. This meeting is not about sparks or fantasy. It is about truth. When their paths cross again, it feels familiar and strange at the same time. The years between them are visible, yet something deeper remains untouched. The comfort is still there. The understanding. The unspoken connection that never needed explanation. This time, there are no roles to play and no promises to escape into. Only honesty. Only real emotion. And that makes everything feel heavier and more meaningful. They talk not to impress, but to confess. About choices that hurt. About chances missed. About love that never fully left. There is no anger, only clarity. They finally see each other not as dreams, but as human beings who survived life and came out wiser. The past no longer controls them. It simply explains them. Love, they realize, doesn't need to look perfect to be real. It needs effort, patience, courage. This time, love isn't about saving someone, it's about walking beside them. Two people choosing each other, not because they need to, but because they want to. Because they understand what it means to lose something precious, and what it costs to risk again. As the city lights glow one more time, the story doesn't promise a fairy tale ending. It offers something better, a second chance built on truth. A love that has grown up, a connection strong enough to survive time itself. And as the chapter closes, one thing becomes clear: some love stories don't end with youth. They begin again when the heart is finally ready. This is not just a reunion, this is love rewritten.